I feel that in general it's very difficult to do straight sex. I mean, just people that climb on top of each other and start to do sex. If there is no other context, if it's just that moment of having sex and the movements and all that stuff and whatever, orgasm, I think that is always annoying to the public and often embarrassing, sitting with your girlfriend there, or your father, or your mother, or your children. I mean, has always, for me, has been difficult. You know, I always feel that if you're too straight with sex, and you don't give it a coloring, then it's easily pornographic. And in this case, it was really, yes, there is sex, but she could also kill him, isn't it? I mean, you have seen in the beginning that she does it and how she does it, and that's why in the big sex scene with Sharon and Michael Douglas, halfway the movie, we repeated all the elements of the first scene, not only the tying, but also the mirror on the ceiling, and all kinds of other elements of the first scene were used to tell the audience, well, wait a moment, yes, they do sex, yes, they're kissing each other, yes, they're licking each other, yes, they're fucking each other, but she might kill him, she might kill him. That's always there, you know. So I think that protects the sex, so that people can still think, yeah, but it's really not only about sex, it's about a threat. And is she going to kill him? Is she going to pick up this ice pick? And it's all done, and she moves backwards like that, like she did in the first scene. She sits on top of him, so it goes backwards, and you see that she's doing a movement with her arm and stuff, and then she comes forward, and you don't know what she has in her hand. She comes down, and no, she doesn't have anything, so she just comes back in orgasm. But the scene is made in a way that every moment you think, is this basically the prelude to a killing? And that, I think, I think that was something that I introduced in American cinema, to go so far in sexuality without being annoying. I'm a big fan of Hitchcock. I know his work extremely well. I've seen all his movies, also all the mute movies that he made, and the first ones that he with sound in the 30s and all that. I've all studied that. I think Vertigo, North by Northwest, Psycho, I've seen them probably 20, 30 times, still looking at them to find out how he did it. And I think that when this movie was presented to me by Mario Casar of Carolco, it was already written in San Francisco, which in some way immediately, of course, related it to Vertigo. And so in certain ways I tried to, I was really looking at, sometimes I say, well, if I do this scene which is on the road here and there, I shouldn't do it, I should do it a little bit different than Hitchcock. Hitchcock uses the Golden Gate Bridge, yeah. So and there was a scene on the bridge, so I could have done the Golden Gate, but I didn't do it. I took the next bridge. So basically, say, yeah, okay, it is Hitchcock, but it's another bridge, you know. So I tried to. There's in Hitchcock there's a lot of this kind of the car of James Stewart when he's following Kim Novak. Basically, the road goes like this, and I said, instead of doing this, I did like this, isn't it? So I thought, okay, because it is like that in San Francisco, it goes like that, isn't it? So I thought, okay, shouldn't do that because that's too close, but I can do something identical if I do it like that. Nobody noticed that it's the same way that Hitchcock did it. If you look at film noir, then it's, for example, Double Indemnity, for example, a Billy Wilder film, then it's always about the relationship between two people, and you know exactly what's happening. You know who did it, and that is clear. The situation so film noir has a lot of clarity. And I think Agatha Christie, on contrast, you have 10 people, they could all be guilty, even Chandler or whatever, or Ross MacDonald. There is always a possibility of people that are, and at the end you find out who it is. Yeah, that's me. Agatha Christie is so many people, and then it is. And I felt that what was interesting or new on this script, and is that from the beginning, it's her or the other girl. And basically, and the movie really goes up and down between these two, and even at the end, basically, when Jean Tripplehorn is killed and she's supposed to be the killer, we it could be true, you know, but the end of the movie suggests that it's not true, but it's not never giving away exactly what's happening. It's really keeping a certain kind of mystery around, and being, let's say, like in Total Recall, being aware that there are two possibilities and accepting the fact that there is no one possibility. There is no one clue to the movie, and I like the ambiguity that you have multiple interpretation, and you don't, and even at the end you don't want to really decide if it's this or that, you know. I'm not so sure that I thought about that when I was doing it, but in retrospect I realized that I had made, say, an American version of The Fourth Man, which is partially, you could say, occult, isn't it? And that Basic Instinct, it's not occult. It is really not really realistic, of course, but it is within the limits of normal life. While for The Fourth Man says that she has magic or occult powers to kill these people by accidents, isn't it? Yeah, so I think it was The Fourth Man is also more arty, I would say, and it is more for a smaller audience. Was a very cheap movie we did, while Basic Instinct was an expensive movie, was 45 million or something like that, you know. Also based on salaries of the actors and all that. It was pretty expensive. Well, the problem when we were preparing and also shooting the movie was with the gay community, isn't it? They felt that they had seen the script, they had read the script, they had concluded out of the script that I was making a movie about a lesbian killer. And that would mean to them that all lesbians are killers. And that was basically the controversy. They wanted me to change the whole script. They wanted me to make it the female male, and etc. etc. And but they had not seen the movie. And they were extremely arrogant, these groups. We came together with all the gay groups and the government, let's say the government of the city, based on San Francisco, with 15, 20 people on the table to discuss this issue. And they were absolutely, let's say, they didn't want to listen, in fact. They didn't want, if I said basically, just look at The Fourth Man that I made, the Dutch movie, then you see basically the main character is gay, and basically certainly not an anti-gay movie, not at all. You say, my relationship to gay people is not hate or suspicion. I don't care. I don't care, and for a plot, I don't care. No, and they said, we have no time to look at your movies. We have no time to look at Fourth Man. We know that this is horrible. And then, notably, which was the worst, Joe Esterhaus, the writer, was at that meeting. And then he said, basically, oh yeah, I feel your pain, and I'm going to change it. And I said, over my dead body, I said to you, this is a great script, you know, we're going to not change it in any way. We do exactly what you wrote. And basically that was a big controversy, and Joe disappeared and whatever. But I'm so glad that basically Mario Casar, who was the head of Carolco, basically supported me and say, okay, no, we're not going to change it. We think this is a great script. It's not anti-gay in any way. And of course, when the film came out, I think the first screening was at 12 o'clock. They were still standing with placards, with these things, ban this movie, don't go there. Let's say the gay community standing at the cinema. And basically at 4 o'clock, they were all gone. By then they had seen the movie, and they realized very, very well that the movie was just absolutely not how they thought, how they had portrayed it in their own mind, you know, reading the script. The movie is really taking sexuality, bisexuality, homosexuality. It's plot.